Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're so glad you could join us today for ChatGPT using AI to streamline your marketing efficiency. Whether you're just starting out or already running marketing campaigns, today's session is about helping you save time, spark creativity, and build efficiency into your everyday work with using AI tools like ChatGPT. But I've also heard we're going to talk about a bit more than that as well. So let's just kick things off here with a quick poll. So we want to know, have you used AI tools before? So that could be Chat, Gemini, or Jasper for your marketing strategy before, or another tool. So let's just see where everyone's kind of baseline is. That would be great. Yeah, and I want to remind everyone too that you can use the chat throughout today's sessions to share your thoughts and connect. I see people are already in there. We got people from all over Alberta, some people in Edmonton. That's great. Pitt Meadows, don't know where that is, but fun. Oh, we have someone from Yellowknife too. That's great. I know that we get some people from up there. I'm from the Yukon, so I get it. Northern. Woo.
Oh, I sure love the detailed introductions. Thank you for those that are sharing some information on where you're from and what hat you wear.
Courtney from Grand Prairie. Lovely to see another Grand Prairie folks here as well.
Perfect. There we go. So I'm going to get us started here with a bit of a land acknowledgement. So BusinessLink acknowledges and respects that we are on traditional land, meeting grounds, territories, gathering places, and traveling routes of Treaty 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10, and the home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge the lands of those who come before us, reside here now, and in the future. Now, just before we get started, I have a few housekeeping tips here for us. So if you are asking questions and really want to make sure they get answered, we love the chat, but it's to make sure your questions get answered, there's a Q&A feature that we'd really appreciate that you use. You don't need to take notes during today's webinar because this is being recorded and shared on our YouTube channel. So you can always go back in and check out what we've talked about. And closed captions are available as well. So just click the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom screen and that should help you out there. And I'll get us started. So welcome again to ChatGPT using AI to streamline your marketing efficiency. We all know AI can feel overwhelming, but today's session will show you how simple, practical ways to use AI to support your marketing. From brainstorming and content creation to applying your brand voice, you'll walk away with tools to start experimenting confidently. My name is Samantha Royal. I'm your favorite marketing specialist here at BusinessLink. If this is your first time joining a BusinessLink session, welcome. BusinessLink is a government-funded nonprofit that helps small businesses in Alberta start and succeed. So we offer free one-on-one support, marketing research, marketing training, and other resources like these webinars for entrepreneurs at any stage. I'm so excited today to have with us our presenters from 910 Incorporated. 910 is a passionate team dedicated to helping Alberta small businesses develop strong brands, build their digital presence, and gain the skills to manage their own marketing strategies. Joining us today are Megan and Ryan from 910, and they'll guide us through the session. So thank you guys so much for being here. And without further ado, I'll hand it over to you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Samantha. And we've been doing webinars with BusinessLink for quite some time now, and this is actually our first chance to be on a webinar with you. So exciting about that. There's so many great team members from BusinessLink helping businesses in Alberta. So I'll do a bit of a quick introduction and then I'll pass it off to Megan as we usually do. So 910, we're a full service digital marketing agency. We're located physically in Grand Prairie. That's where our head office is. That's where I am today. But we work with businesses throughout Alberta. I'm seeing some friendly faces that I recognize from past webinars, but this may be your first webinar as well. So as a full service digital agency, We do graphic design, we do branding, we do print, we do websites, we do a lot of digital marketing. We will manage digital marketing for clients. But the thing we're most proud of is our training academy, where we will work with businesses to provide professional skills development training to build the confidence and the skills and the tools so that you can take control of your own digital marketing. And if you've been on these webinars before, you know that we always start with brand because the brand ultimately is the foundation. It's the information about who you are, your customers, your target audience, and then everything builds off of that. And spoiler alert, AI is a wonderful tool that makes managing your digital marketing so much more effective if you have that foundation. So Megan will certainly touch on that today. And so we're a small, nimble team based in Grand Prairie, but again, we work predominantly throughout the province. And Megan leads our training academy. Marcus and I are the owners, and 910 has grown over the years through merger acquisition. We actually are multiple agencies that have merged together to grow our service base and our market share. And really, our mission is to support Alberta-based businesses to establish your brand, launch your online presence, and then activate, find your customers, raise awareness. And we're increasingly excited to help our clients learn how to do that for themselves with our training academy. And then AI has really been a tool that's going to make that significantly easier for you to do that if you're using the tools properly. So this is sort of the range of our services. And as I mentioned, brand is at the foundation. So these are sequentially in order, like the place to start is with your brand. And then you'll notice that at the end, we have the training academy. So once you have the foundation, all of the tools in place, the training academy is meant to give you those skills so that you can operationalize, activate, prime the pump for the foundation that you have in place. And AI is going to be the tool that's going to make that easier for you. So with that, I will hand it over to Megan. As we're chatting, feel comfortable to chat, to talk to each other in the webinar chat. If you have a question that's directed to us, we will try to answer that, but please put that in the Q&A as Samantha mentioned. And with that, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryan, for that introduction. Just getting on the right slide here. Give me a thumbs up if you can see that okay, Ryan. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So I just wanted to start off with this slide. If you were in our session a couple months ago now already, we took a little bit of a summer break, but if you were in our session a couple months ago, you might remember this slide. So this slide just kind of breaks down essentially at its very core, oversimplified 3 things about AI. Essentially what it is it's a collection of data. So a large database, the internet would be an example of that, but collection of massive points of data. It looks at pattern recognition in order to generate responses, and it works on natural language. So where non-coding, non-computer science people like you and I can actually come in and create really incredible results using our natural language. So the reason I wanted to bring this slide back was just kind of like reintroduce this concept of kind of big data and why it's so important for us to have a basis of data. Because what we're talking about today is ChatGPT, but really the customization of AI tools, where rather than having all of the information in the entire world at our fingertips, we're able to narrow it down into one data set that is a lot more functional for what we're trying to accomplish. So what I want to kind of position this as is thinking about like a student, an intern that you might hire at your business that's just fresh out of school, but they might not have all of the background context information. So kind of what makes a really good student is that drive, that kind of passion to be what they're doing, but also the textbook, the knowledge, the base from where they are learning, right? Those knowledge sources. Then there's the instruction. I could give you a textbook and ask you to read it and expect you to ace a test. But that doesn't mean that I've done my job as an instructor to be able to impart that knowledge effectively, right? So when we're looking at creating a good student or a good intern for their position in the world, we need to involve both the knowledge and the instruction in order for them to succeed, right? I want to think about it in the same kind of way with an AI tool. right? Where we have the business Bible is what I like to call it. So it's everything about your business. And we'll kind of look at how to build the knowledge base in a minute here. But this is everything under the sun, from your business SOPs, your processes, your org charts, so how the organization is structured, your positioning strategy, your product knowledge, all of those different elements kind of coming together in your business Bible, your business textbook, the thing that is kind of the one source of truth knowledge for your organization, for your business, right? And then we pair that with good prompting, so that instruction. We, as the human being in the relationship, right, we want to guide our AI tools, ChatGPT, for example, guide our AI tools in the right direction. So we have to be the ones that are prompting it well. We have to be the ones that are providing good instructions, right? So that we can create the best digital interns, create a student that is worthy of our time, right? So we want to put in the energy at the front end so that we have so much extra support on the back end from the best digital interns you can get, right? I want to talk a little bit about how to build up your knowledge base. So what are kind of some of the things that we should be including in the AI or your business Bible, right? So this could look like a lot of different things depending on what your goals are, right? What are you building your custom GPT to be, right? So in the context of kind of our conversation today, a lot of it is on digital marketing. So we'll kind of look at it as a digital marketing assistant. But the first thing, and Ryan mentioned this at the beginning, but the first thing that we want to take into consideration is the brand strategy, is imparting all of the things that anyone would want to know about the AI or about your business, your brand. So this is your internal brand strategy, your purpose, your mission, your vision, your values, who you are as a brand, thinking about your brand as a person, right? So we've done a lot of conversations about, and a lot of our webinars here with Business Link come back to brand at its essence, right? Always starting with that foundational first step of who you are as the brand, and really kind of conceptualizing it as a person, as if your brand was a human being. Who would they be friends with? The target audience, right? Who would they try and have conversations with? What are they offering to the people around them? What is their personality like? What do they wear? Who are they, right? So that's our brand strategy. And that's kind of one of the core base things that really drives any custom AI assistant like ChatGPT. Thinking about your brand voice and messaging, right? Harley Davidson has a completely different brand voice than Coca-Cola, right? So they're going to be needing to instruct their AI tools differently. And that's why it's so important to have a brand strategy at its base, right? And the reason that I add this into the business Bible versus into any prompt that you're giving is so that every single time you come to ChatGPT to say, hey, I need a social media post about this, you don't have to restate how you want to come across and those kinds of things. So the first thing is your brand strategy. All right, next, because this is a digital marketing assistant that we're creating theoretically, is our marketing plan, right? What are our goals for our marketing? What are we trying to accomplish? What platforms are we on? What is the kind of comprehensive marketing strategy? Are we trying to educate more? Are we trying to sell more product? Are we wanting, what kind of ratio are we trying to achieve? Are we trying to go 80% sales, 20% brand, or the other way around, right? The goal with imparting our marketing plan, our marketing strategy to our ChatGPT is that it can use that knowledge along with all of the data that it has access to on the internet, right? What are marketing best practices and how can we integrate that into our marketing goal and our marketing plans? So build a comprehensive marketing strategy first before asking ChatGPT to build a content calendar, for example. That's kind of sequentially how it should go. One of our previous sessions, I think it was 2 sessions ago or 3 sessions ago, maybe, we talked about building content strategy and building marketing strategy. So we're looking at how to kind of build things out from the ground up, and that would be one of the things that you would add into your AI knowledge base. All right, next, purpose and goals. Each of your custom AI assistants is going to have a different purpose, right? Even if they're all functionally driving towards digital marketing, one might have a purpose of analyzing data, right? Hey, ChatGPT, I'm going to give you a report that I downloaded from my Google Analytics. Can you help me understand what this means in relation to my marketing plan? How is my marketing plan performing based on this data, right? So that's one potential function, right? Another one could be writing SEO content. If you're wanting to build out a blog strategy for your website, you have to be able to go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I need SEO optimized content. Well, what does that mean, right? So giving your instructions to the GPT on the front end saying, hey, the SEO strategy that I need is based on these keywords and that kind of thing. Yeah, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in and tie this back to kind of the comparison of AI, thinking about it like a human intern. Imagine you had a human intern that answered the phone and there's a customer on the other end, and that customer has a bunch of questions about your pricing or your warranty or your products or services or whatever. If that intern had access to, oh, there's a repository of all of that knowledge base, all of that info, all of that content and data is available that the human intern can quickly reference, they'll be able to answer the question and do wonderful customer service and provide the right information. AI can do the same thing if it has access to that information. And in this example, if it's something more technical, like evaluating the analytics of performance of a campaign or a website, if that intern had the skill set to read that kind of data, so long as you give them access to the analytics reports, they'll do a good job. So it's the same thing. These AI tools always do much better if they have access to that data, that content, that context. And so that's the biggest challenge that we see when we're working with clients. If they're not ready to implement AI, it's not because of the learning curve or the skill set. It's that they're lacking the data, the context. And so I just wanted to make that point explicit as you were describing those examples. So anyways, back over to you, Meg.
Yes, thank you for that. And just another kind of going off of that as well, just looking at how overwhelmed, as a human being, I can't even comprehend how much information about even just marketing is available in the world, is available online, right? And I would not expect any one of you to come up with a comprehensive, good plan without any sort of kind of restriction on knowledge, where it's like, okay, well, a marketing plan in Europe might look very, very different than a marketing plan here in Canada, right? So restricting the knowledge a little bit can help with driving better results because we have a little bit more guardrails set up for the ChatGPT or for the custom AI. Another thing that kind of sometimes people forget about is the business's operations, right? The systems and processes. Each business operates differently. And so even when we're thinking about marketing, where there's best practices, universal kind of best practices for marketing, but each business operates a little bit differently. Each process is going to be a little bit different. And so the marketing and the conversations need to be a little bit different as well. And so offering up a lot of that knowledge right off the bat to a custom AI assistant is so valuable in reducing the amount of drift that happens and kind of vagueness in the marketing, where we have a really established process and system set up already. All of our marketing needs to fit within that, right? And so it's really helpful to be able to have those documented, not only for your internal organization and for your employees and for the people that you work with, but also for your AI tools. Yeah, Ryan, go ahead.
Just wanted to jump in. There's a question about security ultimately and privacy concerns around sharing in this question. It's, are there any privacy concerns about sharing your brand strategy with an AI tool? But we can broaden this to just sharing any information. So every organization will have a different policy on this. Some are more or less concerned on privacy. Large corporations and municipalities that we work with, some have really strict provisions on what information you can and can't share with AI tools and which AI tools you can use. You can use Microsoft, but you can't use Google's because they have different privacy policies. So the long and short is generally, if you're a company and you already have information that's within your suite of Google services, then you're probably fairly comfortable to be continuing to use, say, Gemini, which is the ChatGPT equivalent for Google. What I would suggest is it's probably not a good practice to share information that ultimately isn't yours. So, for example, sensitive information about your clients. That's out of the scope of today's conversation, but it is right to be cautious about sharing information with custom AI tools or anywhere for that matter if you don't have ownership of that data.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And I mean, it really comes down to, again, the purpose of the tool that you're building. In today's example, we're talking about a digital marketing assistant. So there's not really a reason for super sensitive information to be included in that knowledge base. But if you were, let's say, a healthcare provider and you're looking to build a custom GPT to create email marketing follow-up systems, right? That could be a different situation that maybe you would need to consider HIPAA laws or patient privacy laws. That would be a different conversation altogether. Yeah, Ryan, your hand is still up. Anything else to add to that?
I'll lower it, and I guess maybe the broader example, we use Gmail at a corporation level, and across our team, we share confidential information that's confidential to our agency, and we use certainly ChatGPT with stuff that's confidential as we're building out quotes and estimates and doing our planning of our organization, financial planning or whatever. But I would certainly be very cautious to load in information that does not belong to us from our clients, for example. So it's just to tighten that
up. The last one I have on here, and this is not the last thing that you should add into your business Bible by any stretch, but this is kind of the last main one that I wanted to talk about is target audience. And this could look different depending on what you're building this for. Is this an internal tool that you're needing to build for your employees or for your organization? The target audience in that case would be your internal team. Is this a digital marketing assistant? In that case, who is your business's target audience? Who are you trying to reach on a marketing level? Are you trying to reach stakeholders or municipalities, right? It is so incredibly important, and I can't stress this enough because this is something that I see on probably a daily basis, is when you don't specify who you're trying to reach, the content that comes back to you, whether it's a strategic plan or actual like social media content or a blog post or something like that, is always going to be too generic. And if you've been in any of our training classes before, you will have heard me say, if you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to no one. If you're trying to be too general, you are not going to be accessing the right people, right? So again, if you're trying to reach municipalities or stakeholders, the language that you're going to want to use is different than if you are marketing to other small businesses or you're trying to navigate an internal team, right? So your target audience, whether that's, again, your internal team or external or whatever it is, that needs to be specified within your prompting, within your instructions, so that you're actually getting valuable content and the results are going to be so much better. All right. Anything else that you would add into the business Bible? Ryan, Samantha, anybody in the chat, what would you add into your business Bible if you could add anything else?
The way I think about this is if you just envision any customer asking any question, and you would like for a human, one of your staff, or for the AI to be able to give a strategic, accurate answer, a good level of customer support. If that information is not in your brand Bible and your brand strategy, if it's not documented, then you can't really expect the tool to provide it. It'll provide a general answer, but if you want that answer to be specific to your policies, your pricing, your warranty, your location, your hours of operation, if that's not documented, if that's not in the knowledge base, that information isn't available. And that's not so different than how search engine optimization works, just to take a bit of a sidestep. If you want Google to understand the nature of your business, your products and your services, where your trade area is, and the type of the type of services ultimately that you offer, people will not be able to find those services in your businesses on Google unless your website has that information. So it's really thinking long and hard about what information is relevant about my business and make sure that that's documented. And then the AI will be able to serve you in that capacity. For example, as a website chatbot, we build AI receptionists for websites. They're 24/7 customer support ready. They can answer any and all questions so long as that information is in the knowledge base.
Yeah. Some really excellent additions in the chat here. Tone of voice. Yes, absolutely. That would be part of our brand strategy, wanting to showcase or explain or give instructions to our AI tools about how we want to come across, the messaging, the storytelling, the tone, the persona that we want to exemplify. The length of response, the jurisdiction, knowledge level of audience. Absolutely. All of those are so key. Arlie asks a really great question in the Q&A. When talking about target audience, we have 3 separate avatars, 3 different targets, with it's related to tone as well as interest points. So one thing that you can do when you're building out AI tools, so your custom GPT, for example, you can say, these are our 3 target audiences, and then say, in your instructions, you can say, hey, when we ask about social media content, or anytime we start a conversation, please ask us what our target audience is for this particular strategy. Or if you are creating a content strategy for this business, always create the strategy with these 3 personas in mind, creating specific content for each one. So that's where the prompting and the instructing purposes come into play, right? And where we have to be so important, or where we have to be so on top of creating really great instructions and really great prompting. So all of that kind of ties back into creating a really good knowledge base. Sorry, I jumped ahead too far there. Creating a really good knowledge base, good prompting on our part, which then creates a good assistant, a good digital intern. So let's look at ChatGPT first. So I wanted to just kind of go through what the different areas for building a custom GPT are. Now, if you are going to be building these yourself, you do have to have a paid subscription to ChatGPT. We can't have, or you can't build those if you have a free version. However, you can access other people's custom GPTs if you have a free version. So there's just kind of a little distinction there. But in order to build, you do have to have a paid version. So with this, there's a few different areas that I just wanted to cover, right? We have our name and our description. This is not overly important. This is for you to understand what it is, or if you are building one for public consumption, that's the title, what somebody would know it as, and what it's there for. The instructions are really where it gets important, right? This is where we start building the actual functions out. Now, this can get really, really long, really, really fast, and that's not a bad thing, but it's really important to really watch it and make sure it doesn't get too convoluted. What tends to happen if we try and make too many considerations within one ChatGPT, it starts getting a little cyclical and it starts getting a little bit confused and can often break down the process within the ChatGPT pretty quickly. So it's important to have good, clear instructions, but not so many conflicting instructions in one custom assistant, right? You can build multiple of these. So it's important to kind of understand that part there. The conversation starters, now this is where we start pairing these two together. So the conversation starters are those first prompts. When you open up ChatGPT and there's like 4 little boxes, you click one and then it starts the conversation. That's what that is. what you can do is put in your conversation starters. And I think you can create as many as you want, but there's only 4 that show up when you open the chat. So generally best practice is to limit it to 4 conversation starters. What you can do, and this is something that I do pretty regularly when I'm building custom GPTs, is I'll write my conversation starters, and then in my instructions, after I've given it, the tone of voice, the brand instructions, and those kinds of things, I say, when the user selects this prompt, ask these questions, right? So it's, what target audience are we trying to reach? If this is a prompt on write me a social media post, what are the platforms that I'm writing it for? What are the audiences? Is there a particular promo that we're looking to offer, right? So I specifically instruct the GPT to ask questions. And there's a really big reason for that, because as human beings, very often we don't know what we don't know, right? And so we may think that we're giving as much information as is needed, but very often there's a piece of context that's missing, or we haven't actually given good enough instructions, but we don't know that until we ask, right? And so that's why it's so important to include in your instructions, ask me questions so that I can answer, right? If there's a piece of information missing, let me give that to you, right? So we're building the ChatGPT in a way that it gives us kind of an open dialogue with the tool so that we can actually use it to the best of its ability. So that's kind of how I like to pair those two together. And then, of course, we have our knowledge section here. Now, ChatGPT has a limit of 20 files. So you can only upload 20 pieces of information, and it's only documents. I think you can upload documents, PowerPoint presentations, images, PDFs, that kind of thing, but you can't do like a video or an audio file. So there are some limitations to what you can and can't use in your knowledge base. Again, limited to 20 files. Yeah, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to, yes, my audio is off. I just wanted to touch base real quickly. I was doing a presentation yesterday with a bunch of realtors, and they were all interested in using AIs. And so screens like this, I just want to acknowledge that for some of you, if you're not seeing this at the first time, it's maybe overwhelming. This is just the interface where you put in the information to train what's called a custom GPT. But I just want to back off for a moment and forget about the technical details. And let me just affirm for you that, especially if you go through a training academy, or if you're just really plugged in about your business, you are in a position where you could build your own custom GPT. And we can tell you that what's going to be required is the information about your business, who you are, what you're about, your products, your services. And then once you start adding that into the custom GPT, that's where you build out the knowledge base. But ultimately, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to say, ChatGPT is a really powerful tool. If you've used it, you understand that it's a natural language interface and it can answer questions of a large variety. But what we want to do is we want to narrow its focus. So when you're building a custom GPT, you're like saying, basically, give us all of the power of custom GPT or of ChatGPT, but let's customize it so it's ready to work just for your business or for your specific use. So what we're doing is we're narrowing its goals, and we want it to be able to answer questions or provide support for, in this case, your specific business. So what you need to do is you necessarily need to give it those clear instructions of what it's supposed to help you with, and then build out the knowledge base so that when it starts to answer, it can just reference that knowledge base, which is what you're building out here. So it's almost like a narrowing of the task of ChatGPT, knowing that when you're using this specific custom GPT, I don't like the terminology. GPT trips up a lot of people when they're saying it. So, but nonetheless, it's like a custom trained ChatGPT version, just ready to work for your specific use case if you build out the knowledge base and the prompting. So.
Yeah, it would be like giving somebody, access to all the knowledge in the world and just saying, hey, write me any sort of instructional manual, but not telling it what the instructional manual is for, or who it's for, or what the general purpose is. Are we trying to build an engine from scratch, or are we trying to bake a cake, right? So that's kind of what we're trying to do is narrow that focus here as well. All right. A few other things that I just wanted to kind of touch on, technical elements for ChatGPT. One, recommended model. You can either leave it as no recommended model and let the user decide. There's an auto select option. So ChatGPT will decide what the best function is, or you can say, hey, I only want you to use ChatGPT 5 or ChatGPT 4, right? There are some limited capabilities. You can also create custom capabilities with ChatGPT. This feature is pretty technical. As somebody who is not a coding expert and not a web expert, I have not been able to figure it out, to be completely honest with you. I know it's there and I know kind of how it works, but as somebody who has limited experience in that, it is really challenging to create a new custom capability within ChatGPT. So just kind of be aware of that. But generally, web search, it's able to surf the net and look at websites if you give it a website. Canvas, it gives you the ability to kind of like edit responses and things like that, depending on what you're asking for. And then it can also do image generation or interpret data and code as well. Yeah, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, I know that we're showcasing ChatGPT right now and building out what's called a custom GPT. We also build these out in other tools like Google AI Studio. Some of them are a little bit more advanced. But if we use the example of building out a web chatbot, so a tool that you're going to deploy on your website, so it's there as a chatbot function, ready to answer any and all questions about the company, referencing the knowledge base that you've opened up. One of the things that you can do, and this speaks to that added technical functionality, Megan, and this is where this would probably be beyond the capability for most of our clients to build, even if they've gone through the training academy. We can tie these into databases as well. So you could imagine you have an e-commerce website with lots of products that you're selling. Someone could go on the chat and they could ask whether or not a certain product is available in inventory. It would then tap into or check the database that exists in your e-commerce, and it would be able to pull forward and say, yes, absolutely, we have 3 options. Here's the links. And then that would link right to the product. So these tools can also be extended in their functionality as well. And that would be an advanced feature that you would get a developer to help you with.
Yeah, for sure. So that actually kind of brings us to the next point. So I guess this slide here really just kind of highlighting how in depth we want to try and keep our instructions and make sure that they're clear and specific. What is the scope? What is the tone? What is the purpose? And then, this kind of keeps going, right? But I wanted to just touch on just kind of what you were saying, Ryan, about it's not just ChatGPT. And when we scheduled this webinar, really a huge part of our focus was ChatGPT. But in the last 6-7 months, we've learned a lot more about other AI tools and like what we would call being AI agnostic, choosing the right tool for the right job, right? It's not just about one tool that can do it all, because there is no such thing, right? But what is the best tool for what we're trying to accomplish, right? Like Ryan was talking about with a custom chatbot, right? That's not something that ChatGPT can do. But, if we're looking at creating really good visuals, that is something that ChatGPT can do, right? So what is the function of your tool and what are you trying to build, right? So I just kind of have this example here. This was the prompt that I put in. Now, this is not a very good prompt because it was so generic to so many different platforms, but these are 4 different AI tools that have created 4 different visuals, right? So what is the one that's going to be best suited for what I'm trying to accomplish, right? And the goal of this is just show you to see how this one here is really kind of fun and futuristic. These ones are a lot more like brain function, kind of almost like static electricity kind of thing, right? We have so many different ideas in so many different options, right? So what is the best tool for you? And so one of the tools that we've been using pretty regularly is our AI workforce with the 910 Business app. And this allows us to kind of combine a lot of the features from ChatGPT as well as some other tools as well. So These are built to be AI agnostic and pull in some of the functionality from many different tools with our voice receptionists, our chat receptionists. There's content creation tools as well. But really, the key thing to this is the custom capabilities, actually, as well. The ability to create a lot of custom features where we can say, hey, we want to book a meeting. Well, how does that function actually work, right? How do we prompt an AI tool to go to a calendar booking link and offer different meeting times to somebody that might be inquiring on our website, right? So all of these things are so valuable. We looked at the custom capabilities over on ChatGPT, where it's pretty complex, and even people who have gone through a training program probably wouldn't be able to build that on our own, where some of these custom capabilities in these AI tools are a lot easier to manage, and we're able to structure them with a lot more data and information. So the custom capabilities is a really neat thing to be able to build in, and we're able to actually create a connection between the AI tool and a CRM feed, for example. So wanting to increase the amount of marketing leads that come into our contact list, we can manage them through custom capabilities with our AI tools, right? So again, here, we want to build up our knowledge base, because like going back to what we were talking about before, we still have to have a knowledge base. We still have to have that business Bible, regardless of what tool we're using, right? So we have the ability to add in unlimited knowledge sources with some kind of constraints set up around that. So we can add in files, websites with up to 99 pages. So you can look at a website that has 99 pages or less. And then text box information, you can add in prompts and things like that. The really interesting, intriguing thing with this is that we're able to set up the instructions a little bit differently than ChatGPT, where ChatGPT had a big, long text box that you just wrote in all the information. Here, we're able to structure it a little bit more narrowly. So in this instance, it's supposed to be used like this. In this instance, it's supposed to be used like this. So there's kind of a little bit more siloing between the different functions and different capabilities there. Yeah, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring us back to something that's practical for the attendees. If you have a website and you envision, you would like to have a chat bot on your website that's powered by AI that would serve as a 24/7 receptionist, never sleeping, midnight, whatever, you're not available to answer any questions. That's very easy for us to build. We can likely build that in 2 to 3 hours and deploy same day if we have that information. So this is what I'm going to suggest for you, is that what we need is the same thing that an AI tool would need if you're training it. If you can provide us the information about your company, your products, your services, your pricing, whatever information you would want the AI to be able to answer, so long as you have that information, that's the knowledge base that we would train it. And then you would give us guidance. What do you want that AI to do? Is it mostly to answer questions and provide answers to their questions? Or would you like for the AI to also book meetings? Because then we can add a capability, and we can have it give it the capability to book meetings directly into your calendar. You might say, well, in fact, actually, we want the AI to direct them to certain pages on our website. So then we just train it to do that. So if you can just think about and articulate what you would want a human to do if they were doing live customer support on your website, it's the same guidance. We would just get the AI tool to do it as well.
Yes, Samantha, go ahead.
Yeah, I just saw a few questions popping up here, and I think it's something that kind of is overarching with just themes today about being using these more paid services over free services. For a lot of entrepreneurs, you might not be at the stage where you want to pay for this kind of stuff yet either. One of the things I just wanted to briefly say on that is there are ways to still use chat. GPT is horrible. I agree with you, Ryan. Anyways, there are ways to use chat in the free services. So even if you're using it for your marketing content, for example, going and actually creating a profile could be your first step to using it. and also having the resources of people to actually, um, like, if you're actually putting the information in, like what Megan's talking about, a paid service is not going to be valuable to you unless you're actually putting in the work, which
Yes.
is, I think, what we're really learning today.
Yeah, that's such a great point, Samantha. And I think something that Ryan mentioned earlier, if you are not at the point where you have all of the information, you don't have your marketing plan, you don't have your business tone of voice set, you don't know what your target audience is, a custom GPT is not going to be helpful for you, right? And Samantha, you had mentioned you can set up a profile. You can do some extent of customization in a free profile without having to set up a custom GPT, where you can add in, how would you like the ChatGPT to refer to you? What is your general kind of purpose for using ChatGPT? It doesn't allow you to do nearly the level of customization like a custom GPT would. There is still some ability there. But like Samantha said, the key thing is that if you're not ready for it, then it's not going to be beneficial for you. And so you need to do kind of that front end work first. Yeah, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, and most services will offer a free trial or a free plan, as we're talking about. We also use Canva and recommend Canva for a lot of our clients. The starting point is use the free one, see if you like it. If you are going to lean on Canva as a design tool to help you with your branded design for social media, you're going to get way better results with the paid plan, which is $150 a year. But you can certainly evaluate it and see if you're going to get the value before you opt to the paid plan. And this will be a consistent answer across pretty much all of the services. There's another question while I'm talking. Are there any government grants that can assist in covering the financial cost of AI building with a company? Shorter answer is yes. If you're actually building AI tools, you could work with National Research Council. For most of the people on the call, you're probably not looking at building AI tools, but rather using AI tools and then, using their functionality. Like, so for example, building a custom GPT using ChatGPT, that would not qualify as building AI. That said, there are other types of grants. There is the Canada Alberta Productivity Grant, which allows businesses to fund 50% of the professional skills development for education. So our training academy, we offer professional certification in digital marketing, which is inclusive of a lot of this AI training, and 50% of the cost of that is covered by the Canada Productivity Grant. So I'll put the link in the chat there. And if anyone is interested in our training program, 50% of that could be covered for your employees as well. So I'll put that in the chat.
Couple more questions in the chat as well. So do we offer a course for Canva? Canva is definitely part of our curriculum for our training academy. We do cover that topic quite a bit. Next session with Business Link next month is actually going to be on basic design principles, which we look at through the context of Canva. It's not on Canva specifically, but it's kind of in that context. So definitely, if you're interested in that, join that. And would we recommend Britain AI? That's not a one that I've actually heard of before. So that's one that I would definitely want to look into a little bit more and see kind of what the context is. But yeah, I'm not sure if I can answer that question, unfortunately for you, Clayton, but definitely one that we could look into for sure. All right, so kind of our key takeaways, we've got just a little over 10 minutes left here. One, build up your knowledge bases. That's the first thing. You are not going to be successful with your AI tools. You're going to get more frustrated than anything else. You're not going to get good results if you don't have your knowledge base built up, if you don't have that business Bible, your business textbook ready to use it. Two is understand how to give those clear instructions. Make sure that you yourself are comfortable with prompting and giving clear communicating instructions to the AI tools so that they are able to actually perform to the best of their ability. Understand the purpose of the custom AI tools that you build. What are you trying to accomplish, right? Are you wanting to build a chatbot for your website so that you're capturing leads 24/7? Or are you wanting to build an internal tool so that your team can have a digital marketing assistant at the drop of a hat, right? What are you trying to accomplish? That's a huge, huge step. And then be AI agnostic. Use the right tools for the right job. Don't limit yourself because you have structured so that you can only use one AI tool. Make sure that you are giving yourself flexibility. That's going to be the best option to get the best results for sure. So those are kind of our key takeaways.
Let me jump in and just add a little bit more.
Yeah.
Think of this as in two categories. If you want to learn how to do this stuff on your own and start using the tools more efficiently and even building with them, then the Training Academy is the right fit for you. If you want to get the benefit of these tools, but you don't want to build them out, then you work with us and we build them with you. And guess what? We're going to lean on you to help us get the information to fill your knowledge base. So either way, you're going to be participating in it. I'm just going to put into the chat one more time. We have on our website a chatbot, which you can go there and ask questions about our services. And, we've trained it with a knowledge base. So for example, ours is trained not to provide pricing because that's a conversation we want to have with our clients. But you can ask questions about our services generally. You can book into our calendar. And we also have a voice receptionist, which is basically you can speak to it in natural language, and it's an AI voice. And so I've put the phone number in there as well. And so that's something that we can build for you. Or if you're in our training academy, you can actually learn how to build those out yourself. And then the training academy, as a reminder, does qualify for the Canada Productivity Grant. The fee for our 6-month course where you can become a certified digital marketing professional, which Megan is a certified digital marketing professional. It's a $2,500 program with half of that being covered by the government for employees. And back to you, Megan. I just wanted to share that little bit of info as we're getting close to the end.
Yeah. One other question in the chat there is how can I get founders and managers to do a business Bible? That is an age-old question. Marketing teams, very often the struggle is to get the rest of the team to participate in these. So just having open conversations with them about why it's important to have these things documented, and then just having a conversation with them and having your notes ready. That's the best advice I can give at this point. But yeah, for the last few minutes here, I just wanted to quickly go over any questions. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat here. And I'll just touch on a last kind of few housekeeping things. So one is the next upcoming session. So our session in October is going to be, it's called the ABC Design Principles. So introducing designing graphics for digital marketing. I am not a professional designer by any stretch of the imagination. I a certified digital marketing professional, but I did not go to graphic design school. So I am very comfortable and confident with this topic here, and I can show you how I, as a non-designer, have created some really great marketing graphics just using some pretty simple tools. And then our last session in November is going to be on paid advertising. So it's going to be a little bit more of a technical conversation and how to kind of go about what kind of advertising is best. Is it Google? Is it Meta? Is it LinkedIn? And how to kind of set budgets and look at things like that. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that. It's a pretty big conversation. So definitely one that I would recommend for sure. A lot of great conversations there. But if you're interested in looking a little bit more into the AI tools that we were talking about today, this is a demo digital marketing dashboards that you can look into. This is a link to our website again. So you can take a look at some of the information there and book a demo with us, and we can talk a little bit more about the AI tools and how to get them to work better for you, and how to structure them in a way that we can give them good prompts and good instructions and look at that. Couple other questions about how to get a hold of us to look into the Training Academy. Ryan just dropped some information in the chat as well, so feel free to give us a call. You can find our info on the website or give us an email as well. We'd be more than happy to chat.
Yeah, and just touch on that. We're a full service agency, so we can help with so many different things. So we have lots of different links and lots of different pages, but none of them really matter. Ultimately, if you're interested in any of our services, you can just reach out to me directly. I've put my email in there. We might be talking about the Training Academy. Maybe we'll talk about branding. Maybe you're interested in some of the AI tools like the web chat bot, or maybe it's a website support you need. Either way, we never charge for that initial consultation, and always happy to connect. And you're also welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I will just throw my LinkedIn profile in there as well.
You can register for upcoming sessions through Business Link. The Business Link slash events, I think is what it is, Samantha.
Yep, and the ABC design is up and ready to be registered. So right after this, you guys can all pop on the website and it's ready to go there.
Awesome. Another question, are we only based in Alberta? Physically, we're based in Alberta, but we work with businesses across Western Canada. Primarily, our service area is the northern Peace region of Alberta, BC, but again, we are a digital agency, so we can work with people anywhere in Western Canada for sure. All right. Thank you, everyone. There's a few minutes left here in the time. So if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'd love to have any more conversations over the last few minutes here. But thank you all for attending. It was such a great session today, and love to chat about all the really cool, amazing things that AI is coming out with. It's such a fast moving industry, and there's so many new things that we're learning. I mean, Ryan and I have been working on a project recently with how to use different AI tools to create quizzes for a website. You know, those so many different really, really neat things that are coming into play that we're always learning.
And I see we have some advanced users on the call. Russ Love, building a master branding prompt. There are some tools out there. One that I just learned about the other day. ChatGPT has a prompt optimizer where I put the link in it in the chat earlier. This would be for advanced users. You write your prompt, you give it to the optimizer, it analyzes it, and it basically restructures it into the format that is going to be more effective for tools. And so almost certainly all of the tools, whether it's ChatGPT or Grok or Perplexity or Gemini, they're going to start to release tools that will help you craft your prompt. This kind of buzzword that everyone's talking about. All prompting really means is giving clear, structured direction to the AI so that it can actually be successful at producing the type of work or support that you're looking for.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So many good things coming in as we go, and new functions always popping up. So definitely things to keep you on your toes for sure. I mean, at least it keeps me on my toes. Never a dull day when you're working with AI.
Yeah, and just we're running out of time here, and there's tons of questions, but I was just wanting to wrap up a few things here for Business Link. So I just want to say thank you to Megan and Ryan. It's always fantastic to have you guys presenting. Um, Another big thing here, just with if you're maybe before AI or before that stage, Business Link has our digital marketing program. It's a great kind of first step to making that marketing plan if you are a new business. So I encourage everyone to check that out on businesslink.ca. We also just offer general advice for free, completely government funded. So if you ever have any questions, we're happy to chat with you. I also want to just draw attention to the QR code that's on everyone's screen to see when, for example, the November webinar is up. It's great to subscribe to our newsletter, and we will let you know when registration is open. We'll also be sending out the full recording by the end of this webinar, so keep that out soon. That should be out soon, probably end of day. And we'd really appreciate if everybody could complete that pop-up survey that's going to pop up right when this webinar ends. Your feedback is so valuable to us because we really want to keep giving you guys webinars that you enjoy. So if you guys loved Megan and Ryan, tell us. We would love to bring them back more and more. And yeah, that's kind of it for me. I'm really excited to see everybody in our next webinar. And if you guys had anything else to say.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Yeah, if I know we're kind of out of time here, but if there's any lasting questions on getting access to funding or anything else, if it's 910 related, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to sit down for a conversation. Obviously, there's government grants available through Business Link as well. They would definitely be the contact there. But if you have any questions, we are happy to tag team and make sure that you get access to the funding that's available.
Yeah, that's great. And I see Ryan's putting those links in the chat as well for everyone to reference.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone. We love our partnership with Business Link. Samantha, great to be on the webinar with you today. Please thank your team. I know you have lots of people working on the back end as well.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
and
everyone.
everybody have a fantastic day.
Great rest of your Thursday.